What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show. The best place for everything fantasy football. Every episode gets you one step closer to the goal of winning your fantasy football championship. From rankings, breakouts, sleepers, best ball drafts, DFS plays. If winning is your objective, this is the place to be. Let's piece the puzzle together and get you that trophy. Here's your host, Sleezball, right here on My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.
Welcome into episode 13, guys, the Los Angeles Rams Fantasy Football Breakdown. If you want to check out my other video before, it is the breakdown of the San Francisco 49ers, and I'll be staying in the NFC West. I'll be doing Seattle and Arizona next, and there's 38 days to football, so I'm going to do one team every single day, breakdown so you guys can get a fantasy feel for it. With the Rams, I'm going to do Stafford, Kyren. I'm going to talk about Blake Corum. I'm going to talk about the Rams wide receiver 1, Cooper Kupp, and the Rams wide receiver 2, Puka Nacua. I'm not going to talk about Demarcus Robinson. I'm not going to talk about Whittingham, who's having a good camp. I'm going to talk a little interesting play with Colby Parkinson that it's very strange to me. And then we're going to dive into kickers and defense. If you guys have kickers and defenses in your league, something I could break down for you. I mean, you'll see the Rams defense when we get there. And then also, guys, on August 1st is going to be my last ranking drops of the season. Then when the season starts, we'll get into stardom, sit-em shows, fantasy football, everything as well. It's going to be a blast. Let's dive into the episode, guys. Here, let's get it started. Starting off with the general, Matthew Stafford, current ADP at 128, about the 11th round. Finished last season at QB 15 with 326 completions, 3,965 yards, 24 touchdowns. He also missed 2 games in Week 9 versus Green Bay and Week 17 versus the 49ers. Now, his total points on the season, he was 30 points outside of a top 10 QB. So if he plays those 2 games he misses, he's instant top 10 QB. He's not averaging under 15 points a game, right? Then you also have to factor in that Cooper Kupp missed the first 4 games. It was hampered all year. Now Kupp is back healthy. The value of Matthew Stafford is an absolute smash in fantasy football, and it is very easy to get your stacks if you're looking for a Kupp or a Puka or a Kyren. I wouldn't say Colby Parkinson yet, but we'll get to that. All these are very accomplishable with his ADP, which is amazing and one of my favorite things to do in best ball and in redraft as well. Now, numbers you need to look at, metrics at QB for Matt Stafford and why he's so good. Red zone attempts last season, he was number 4 in pass attempts. There wasn't a lot of Kyren Williams on the ground. They like to air it out in the red zone. He was number 4 in money throws. He doesn't miss. He drops it on a dime. Number 7 in yards per attempt. Number 8 in adjusted air yards per attempt. Number 7 in deep ball completion percentage. True pass rating was number 7 in the NFL, 101.6. His QBR was 64. That was number 6 overall. All these metrics are so good. It's just like people don't believe it because he doesn't have the rushing upside for fantasy. That's like one of the biggest rookie mistakes to me is always look for a rushing quarterback and pay the higher value when you can get a quarterback that's going to finish in the top 10 and build your roster out stronger to start, which is one of my favorite strategies and why I love targeting Matthew Stafford late in drafts. Oh, get your popcorn ready for this one. Kyren Williams, one of my absolute favorite targets in fantasy football. Currently going off the board at ADP 18, which is absolutely bonkers to me that he's going off the board at running back 9, when last season he finished as running back 6, missing 5 games from week 7 to week 9, and he missed week 18 versus the 49ers, just like Matt Stafford, because he sat the players for the playoffs. If this guy is averaging the second most points in fantasy football behind Christian McCaffrey, you think that Blake Corum is going to come in as a 3rd round rookie and touch this guy's workload share, you are crazy. Yes, Corum will probably see 20% snaps. If they're blowing a game out, he might run it down the stretch. This is going to be the Kyren Williams show 100% all the way. Like, look at the videos he puts out. If you follow any of his social media content, he's first or last is his line. Ricky Bobby swag with this guy. He's the hardest worker in the gym. Sean McVay has said the team goes as Kyren goes. I am waiting with receipts for everyone on Twitter, YouTube, etc. That all the Blake Corum talk, I just blows my mind. Now, Blake Corum is one of the best handcuffs in football. Let's talk about Kyren's metrics here. So his snap share last season was number 1 in the NFL, absolutely bonkers at 84%. Pure workhorse usage. So if anything were to happen to Kyren, yes, Blake Corum will be an RB1 instantly, right? Not going to happen without an injury. Now, these are all top 10 metrics for Kyren Williams. Red zone touches, number 4. He had 60 of them. Rushing yards, number 3. Remember, he missed 6 games. Might have led the NFL in rushing. Receiving yards, number 32. Not great at receiving yards with 206 yards. That should pick up this season, I hope. Total TDs, he had 15. He was number 3. Averaged 21.3 points per game. He was number 2. I mean, you can go on and on. Route participation, he was the number 4 running back to go out on routes every single game. All the metrics here are insane. Evaded tackles, number 8. Yards per touch, number 8. Yards created, number 9. Expected points EPA, number 8 at 11.8. Dominator rating, the second most dominated running back in the NFL was Kyren Williams at 35.1%. I am smashing this draft pick all day, and I am even willing to draft him in the first round. Call me crazy, but this is going to be a man that is on championship rosters 100%. All he has to do is avoid injury. The Triple Crown winner, Cooper Kupp, is back 100% healthy, and look out, folks. He is one of my favorite wide receivers to target this year. Currently going off the board at ADP 42, which value is absolutely bonkers. I have him higher than so many people above him, like Malik Nabers, Zay Flowers, T. Higgins, Devonta Smith, Stephon Diggs, Michael Pittman, Jalen Waddle, DJ Moore. This guy, it's like people forget because he was hampered with injuries last year, and he was still out there gutting it out with 94% route participation being hampered. The man's work ethic is through the roof. He just tweeted out that he's healthy 100% and nothing has felt better. Now let's talk about his last season. So wide receiver 41, 59 receptions, 737 yards, 5 touchdowns. Also missing the first 4 games with a hamstring injury, getting hurt again in the season. And he didn't ever get his full strength back. Like you could tell if you're watching Cooper Kupp out there, right? Like when have you ever seen Cooper Kupp score 3 points, 3 points, 3 points, 1 point, 3 points? This is him grinding through injuries. Then he gets healthy about week 13. Then he goes 13, 20, 27, 10. More Cooper Kupp stylish, right? Then he misses week 8 again because they rested the players again, right? So missing 5 games on the season, still putting up wide receiver 41 numbers while hampered with injury. And all the points and all the targets and everything went to Puka Nacua, who broke all the rookie records. We'll get to that next, and I'm talking about Puka next. But he was playing the Cooper Kupp role while doing that. And who is the best at playing the Cooper Kupp role? Oh, shocker. Cooper, Emmer, Mother, blank, beep, Kupp. This man is about to explode this year. This is one of the best values you can pick at wide receiver. And just believe me and do it, because you're going to be mad at the end of the season if you didn't. Speaking of the rookie that broke all the records, let's dive into it here. Puka Nacua, current ADP is 9. That graphic is messed up. It says 42. I messed that up. He's going off the board in the first round at 9. He finished last year at wide receiver 4 overall with 105 receptions, 1,486 yards, 6 touchdowns, and wasn't even drafted in some leagues. Now, if you've watched any of my videos before, or my 5 players to avoid at value, this is one of my number 1 players you should avoid at first round value. He is not going to see the same target share that he saw last season, which was absolutely bonkers at 28.7, 29%. His target rate was 29.1, target share was 28.7. That's absolutely not going to happen with Cooper Kupp healthy. Matthew Stafford's connection with him is too damn good. And you can find better value in the first round. This is not Puka Nacua hate in any way. It's not like I don't think he's a good player. It's not like I don't think he's going to have a good year. I just don't think he's going to have this crazy of a year again. I will eat my words. I've tweeted it. I've talked to tons of people about it. Everyone knows that I'm lower on Puka Nacua. I have him around, 28, 30 ADP where I think he should be going, which would be around like a Devontae Adams or a Brandon Ayuk, Drake London, DJ Moore, Metcalf area, right? I think that's the kind of value he's going to return this season. But look at these metrics, though. I mean, the guy was number 7 in targets. This is all going to change with Cooper Kupp, though. Target rate, top 6, right? These are all top 10 metrics. Receiving yards, he was number 4. Receptions, he was number 8. Yak, he was number 5. Fantasy points per game, he was number 6. I mean, it goes on and on. The list goes on and on. Yards per route run, number 6. Yards per attempt, number 9. He only had 10 drops as well, which is a key factor that I really love about Puka Nacua, because that is number 1 in the NFL drop rate according to his receptions at the same time. So if you have over 105 receptions, only 10 drops, you're doing pretty damn good, because his targets were even more than that. His targets were at 160. So he dropped 10 balls out of 160. The other 50 were uncatchable. I mean, the guy is an absolute stud. I just don't see it with Cooper Kupp back this season. That's why I'm avoiding Puka Nacua at value. But remember, this is at value. It's not like I don't hate Puka Nacua. Just let's get that straight. But I don't like drafting him at value, and it's very hard. If you take him early, I feel like you're missing out on so much other value in the draft. So the Rams go out in the offseason and pay Colby Parkinson a 3-year, $22 million, $15 million guaranteed, $6.5 million signing bonus contract. And the guy has never done anything in football. It's not like I'd be judging Sean McVay because the man's an absolute genius. But if I'm looking at Colby Parkinson in his career, he's been at Seattle for 4 years. His highest receiving yards ever was 322. Last year, he had 247. He's only had 4 touchdowns in his entire career. I don't know if they see something that I don't see here, or is it that the Tyler Higbee at age 31 on the PUP with a massive injury last year is going to be out? I could see that, but Tyler Higbee didn't even have a good year last year either. And Colby Parkinson is known mainly as a blocking tight end in Seattle. So I'm hoping that Sean McVay has some, magic riddle here that he solved with Colby Parkinson, because they paid him a massive amount of money. I can't explain it, can't get behind it, but you got to trust Sean McVay. The man knows what he's doing. And if I look at anything for Colby Parkinson, there's really nothing to even find. I mean, I've tried to find highlights. I've tried to find anything since he's been in Seattle, and it's kind of a ghost town. So, I mean, he's a late flyer for me in deep ball, because there's not a lot of week 6 tight ends if you're drafting, best ball, not deep ball. If you're drafting best ball. But besides that, I mean, if I'm looking at his metrics, everything is outside the top 40 overall. Some of them are just blank because he doesn't even have enough stats to fulfill it. I'm hoping that this could be a sneak attack, because the updates say that he's going to be involved in the offense, but not a player I'm targeting in redraft or dynasty or anything like that. But a player I'd be willing to take a best ball shot on. That's about it. Kicking for the Los Angeles Rams this year is going to be rookie Joshua Carty, and someone I'm actually sneakily keeping my eye on if I play in kicker leagues, right? So his ADP right now, currently unknown. You can draft him at the bottom of the draft, last pick of the draft, pick him up off the waiver wire. No one has this guy at all. But there is some sneaky stats here that I really kind of like here, okay? So he went to Stanford. Gotta like that, number 1. The guy's smart already, right? So his sophomore year, 27 for 27. He's his first time kicking, right, on extra points. 10 for 15 on field goals. His percentage is 66%. His long is 57 as a sophomore, okay? Not very good percentage-wise. Then he hits his junior year, okay? PATs, again, 100%. Goes to field goals, goes 18 for 18 at 100%, and hits a 55-yarder. So the guy has a leg. All of a sudden, you watch the junior or sophomore first year progression to the junior year, balls out, goes to his senior year, goes 21 for 21 on PATs, 100%. But his field goals go 23 for 27 at 85%. Makes more field goals. Also hit 4 field goals over 50 yards at the time and missed 2 50-yarders. So it could be 25 or 27, looking at 90%. This guy, and you're going to be in a Rams offense that's always going to be moving the ball. But and I'm going to get to their defense here, and I'll talk to why I like Carty even more when I get to the defensive side here. But this could be a really, really sleeper good kicker for free. So, I mean, if he's on your waiver wire or he's on your dynasty wire, I'm willing to take a shot on him purely because the Rams are going to be moving the ball down the field, and I'm going to get to why the defense next right now. That's it for episode 13, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown of the Los Angeles Rams. Tomorrow, I'll be doing the Arizona Cardinals, the offense that we all cannot wait to see in fantasy football. And before I go, guys, make sure you smash that like and subscribe. All the support's appreciated. I try to bring you the best fantasy football content to help you win your championships. And I'll catch you next episode, guys. Sleazeball out.